Morning guys. So Saturday morning I do the video outside the house as it's fairly warm, plus you miss my smoking when I do it inside. So Saturday morning, a few odd jobs at home, cracked through pretty much, got someone coming around in about 20 minutes, so I'll keep this short. So I did my last asbestos video and I said to you I'd had a developing situation with a customer. Sorted now, being paid. But I think kind of a couple of reflections on that whole situation, and there was a twist in that tale. So obviously what we do, there's no side to what we do. Like these YouTube videos, I just do them to help people. But there's no side to what most of us tradesmen do. We are just literally, we're going out, doing a job, doing it to the best of our ability, using skills. In my case, I've kind of really developed over 30, nearly 35 years. Doing a good job, not overcharging, but charging enough to sort of recompense us for that. We're buying materials. We're just going out. We're offering the service. We're doing it. We expect to get paid. Now, I've touched on this in other videos. What you charge is what you charge. What I've advised, what you charge. Now, what I tend to do, I have terms and conditions. So, what I do, I sort of very clearly say, these Polish fags are horrible. Polish Marlboros I got from a trip. Ran out of my Bosnian ones. I've got one packet left, which I'm saving. Anyway, so what I do, my terms and conditions, very clear. I go to your home, I give you the price by email. It's such and such, so, and that's it. If you go ahead, I then charge you a deposit. Normally charge all materials up front, 25% of labour deposit. If it's a big job, maybe stage payments. And very clearly I state payment is due on the day of completion, very clearly. Only for domestic jobs. Obviously a commercial job, you'd be checking when their payments are, etc, etc. But yeah, so it's payment on the day of completion. Now, most of the time, the kind of customers I get, now because of the skill level I've got and because of the sort of people I advertise to, I tend to get the kind of demographic who they want to get you paid and they pay you before you leave. Have that most of the time. I've had a few who haven't, and this latest one was just bizarre. So, customer I've been to before, I've done a living room media wall, lovely, but I'm very happy with the work. Obviously they had a high standard, they were very fussy. Fine, no problem, got it done. On that particular occasion, I got paid before I left, which is great. Do you want receipts there? No, that's fine, we just paid you. Great. They were happy. Went back, they wanted 3 bathrooms done, but they're not full bathrooms. They were like half walls, so half the wall, the bottom half was tiles, the top half was emulsion, etc, etc. So they'd had new bathroom suites, units, etc. Now they'd had a problem with the bathroom fitter, from what I could tell. His finish wasn't great. One of the toilet seats was cracked. First day that I was there to do the job, the system wouldn't work, and so I said to the customer that your system's not flushing. So they called him back, and he went back that evening after I'd gone, because I stipulated I don't work with other trades, etc, etc. So they'd had some issues, and they'd smashed a ceiling light out to change it, but then had taken half the plaster with it, not done the remedial work beforehand. So there's only so far I can go. Now I turned up on the job. They hadn't told me in advance that they'd cut a huge great channel out of the wall to hide an electric wire that was in trunking. They weren't happy. They'd got a separate electrician in who'd cut this channel in. Hell of a lot of work to fill. Needed another product, which I explained to him. I said, I need this product. It's an hour's round trip for me. I haven't got that time. He said, no, I'll go and get it for you. Sent him the link. He went and got it. It was like £5.50. But obviously I needed that to kind of embed the wire in properly, etc. So yeah, I did it. But all of a sudden that job turned from kind of like 8:30 till 4 for 3 days, till 8:30 till 5 on 2 of the days, and 8:30 till 5:30 on the 3rd day. So really, that was 3.5 extra days work. 3.5 hours, extra work, really half a day, which I didn't charge him for. Um, you know, it's one of these things. But that time adds up. That's 3.5 hours extra work I'd done on top of my day that I wasn't expecting. So anyway, second day they seemed fine. I explained I can't go any further with this. The the bathroom top of the bathroom panels needed siliconing in. But I said you'll need to get him back for that. I'm certainly not going to start siliconing. That's a good couple of hours work for me. Haven't got that time to give you. So I'm very polite, I'm nice. They kept the coffees going. But on the third day, the women started getting very anxious. Said they were going out and won't be there when I finished. So I'm like, no problem. I said, right. So towards the end of the job, I said, I've done 2 coats on the walls. I said it's actually going to need a third to get the depth of the colour, which is quite normal on a small wall like that. You're applying it with a 4-inch roller, not a 9-inch, because it's just you can't get the pull on it, and you can't lay it off very well. So I said that's going to need a third coat, and I'd said that right at quote stage. That's down for 3 coats. Ceilings were fine. The plumber had taken some of the tops down to bare plaster on the ceiling because he'd taken out some of the coving and not made it good. So I'd had to do all of that as an extra as well. And I said that's going to need another. Where that bare plaster was, that's going to need another coat round. Just a very small, like that, like a couple of inches around. I said because I've miscoated it after giving it 2 coats, but I'm not going to overcoat it. All fine. Woman got very anxious, said, and I said, it needs a third coat, but have a check, see if you're happy so far before you go out. She's like, it needs a third coat. And I'm like, yeah, I told you that. And she got very, very, very anxious. And I mean incredibly anxious. And she was like, oh, it's okay. So she said to her husband, he's going to do a third coat. What's all this about? So, got them there. I'd undercoated the frame, so there's only 3 door frames to do, there's no skirting. I said, don't shut the door, I said, because the frames are still wet. And sure enough, she shut the door, so I had all, I was only using like a water-based undercoat, but it was like, I've got to scrub all that down now. I said to the guy before he left, I said, look, I said don't shut the door, she has, I've had to scrub it down, it's just be careful, okay? And he's like, yeah, well, welcome to my life. I said, because once I've got top coated, that's it, I'm not doing any more. So anyway, they then said, okay, well, we're not going to pay you until tomorrow when we've viewed it in daylight. And I was thinking, what? Now, this is where things could go badly wrong. I could have, and some of you will, certainly some of you younger, some of you really need the money. And don't forget, I've said before in my videos, my family depend on the money I bring in. My wife has a health condition, I have a son to provide for. So I'm kind of thinking, what's this? I actually, I just want to get paid, really. So anyway, I didn't say a lot. I just said, okay. I said, I'll send you the payment reminder at the end. Now, a lot of you would have got very in his face. No, you said paying on the day. I want paying now. But that would have led to a confrontation. We're always, as tradesmen, quite vulnerable in someone's house, and especially when they're holding your money and you're waiting to get paid. But bearing in mind, if that led to a confrontation, I might have been asked to leave, might not have got the job done, then they're not going to pay me, are they? So we've got to be careful. So said nothing, finished the job at 5:30, gave it a wipe around, cleaned up as best I could, and the guy was like, oh, don't worry about cleaning down, she'll minutely wash everything down. The woman was just constantly coming across as quite anxious on the third day, quite almost like with a mental health problem, really. Maybe she did, I don't know. But I said nothing. I said absolutely nothing to this comment about we're going to check it in the daylight, because I just think that's horrible. They'd seen it, they know the standards of my work, they know it's good. I'd even touched up in the living room where they'd had another electric light done and it needed a little fill around a light and touching up. I'd even done that for free. Do you know what I mean? So I've done everything. So I've done 3.5 hours extra of the channel. I've touched that up for free, and they treated me like that. So I sent the payment request through. Before I left, I sent it from my phone on the email and just said it's payment on the day, blah blah blah, as quoted and agreed by you by email. Heard nothing. So of course then I was doing the asbestos video, so there's the developing situation. I'm thinking, what is going to come in here? What are they going to come up with? What sort of anxiety driven mental health breakdown snags am I going to get off this job? Because it was perfect, and I checked it all through. So anyway, and they'd asked to have a bedroom done. I think a couple of bedrooms, which I'd quoted for. Not going to do that now, am I? Not going to take, once someone does that once, I'm zero tolerance on rudeness, because that is very rude. And I had an email through from the guy saying, I paid, hope to see you again. And I'm thinking, yeah, you're right, mate. Yeah, and that's kind of, but I could have blown up at him, got very, thrown my toys out the pram, if you like, and sort of, oh, I want the money now, you said payment today. What's going to happen? It's just going to lead to a confrontation. They're then just going to not feel comfortable with me being there. I could have been asked to leave. Police could have got involved even, you know, if it then sort of started up, and you don't know, certainly when people are getting anxious and with mental health issues like that, they need careful handling, and just, you know, and I was just saying, I'll send you the payment request at the end of the day. I haven't agreed to him inspecting it in daylight. So yeah, kind of got it there, and done and dusted. And because I've got that initial email of them agreeing to pay on day of completion, I would have immediately come 12 o'clock, I'd have sent him a message saying, am I getting the payment or not? If he'd said there was a snag, I'd have done it. But had he made the payment anyway, if he'd said there was a snag, I'm still going to go all out and put it right, because that's what you do. But there wasn't, because there never is really. I checked it all over. So yeah, and I had that from somebody else as well, which I'll touch on the end of this video. But yeah, twist in the tail was I then had 2 hours after that payment was made, a message from somebody, hello, what's your day rate please? I'm thinking, I don't do day rate. You only do day rate if it's a job you can't work out what needs doing or what have you. So, well, I tend to price by the job. And they asked for a price which was very similar to one of this customer's bedrooms, the one had just done the late payment. So I was very careful, and I said, look, I need to see some pictures really. Gave them a ballpark figure, including paint. They was like, oh no, we'll supply the paint. And I was like, no, I will supply the paint, because I only use trade paint from a trade supplier. Oh no, we can get you trade paint. Well, no you can't, because I can get it a lot cheaper than you can, because I've got my trade discount. So, kind of I was trying to work out what my return to that should be, and went back to it 20 minutes later to find I was blocked. So I thought, oh aye. And that was on my business account, so I looked up for my personal Facebook, which I have on full lockdown, by the way. Only people I've met and genuine friends can be on there and see my posts, and that's what you should all do as self-employed as well. Don't plaster all over your holidays and stuff. Anyway, I noticed that they actually knew these people, and this guy was fairly well-to-do, knew people at the golf club and commanding officer of the local army base. But anyway, this person just coincidentally happened to be connected to them, and is trying to work out my day rate, etc. So I don't know what's going on there. I've been paid, not going back. Obviously, if they say there's a problem with the job, yeah, of course I'm going back, yeah, no problem. But I'm not going back to do any more work. I'm not entertaining going near them again, because it's just weird. Yeah, so just an idea, but the last time I went and did their living room, lovely. They were really calm and happy and everything, so perhaps the bathroom fitting just went on too long and was too many snags and had just driven them a bit over the top with anxiety and mental health. I don't know, but that's not my problem. I just need to be paid for the job, and I don't want people being rude saying they're going to pay the next day after they've checked in the daylight, because I know it's right. Had it from another woman. They wanted me to do their fiberglass swimming pool and outside work after I'd done their kitchen. And it was like a 2-day, maybe 3-day job in their kitchen. Yeah, 3-day job, I think. Woman said, oh, I'm going off on a trip. Husband will be here. So he checked it, said he was happy, helped to move all his stuff back. Furniture, went all out as usual. Finished it off. Next thing I'm getting, oh no, well, I'll pay you when I'm back in a week when I've inspected your work. And my response to that one was, no, I've got bills to pay. You agree payment on day of completion, please pay. Okay, I'll get my husband to do it first thing in the morning. So first thing in the morning comes, and it was 3 o'clock by the time that payment came. So Julie came back. said about doing the swimming pool, and I just completely went silent. I just thought, I'm not going to get into you for thousands of pounds worth of materials, which it is on that kind of job, and quite a bit of labour. I'm not going to get into that and find that you're owing me possibly £1,000 and you're not going to pay or whatever. And I thought, I don't really want to go into this payment in advance with you either. You're just a rude person who I'm not going to get involved with again. And that's the thing with tradesmen. I do a good job, I want paid. Certainly on smaller jobs like carpet cleans now, because I've had people stand there and go, oh well, what do? Do you send me an invoice? It's like, no, it's as per the messenger. Here, I'll show you the message that you've agreed to. It says payment on the day, on completion, before I leave. How do you want to pay? That's it really, just, yeah. But the whole story is, the point of is, get everything in writing, get everything there, that they're agreeing to it. If they come up with a problem, go and fix it, no problem at all. But if not, everything I'm doing is designed to get it through to the small claims court. Certainly this guy who wanted to inspect in the light would have immediately come 12 o'clock. If I'd had no response by 5 o'clock, that would have been a email, letter and recorded delivery letter sent requesting payment within 7 days. And certainly 7 days after that, I would have immediately gone online and filled out the small claims court, and you're going to win. You're literally going to win, because you've got it there in writing, and they're not giving a reason as to why they're not paying. So yeah, but just keep it calm. Don't blow up at people. I know some of you will. Some of you would get very aggressive. You might have a young baby at home. You need money for clothes, nappies, food, rent, whatever, and you're going to blow because you're seeing that. But that's why I always say to you, never take a job on unless you can actually afford to lose the money, because that prevents you blowing up, and you can remain calm, you can remain detached, and you can go through that process. And of course, if you're struggling with doing the small claims, you can get someone to help you and stick that on the claim as well as an expense. So yeah, hopefully this helps some of you with late payers, rude customers, and just the general weirdness that's going on at the moment out there.